And welcome back, everyone. We are on a bit of a milestone episode tonight, guys. Episode 40.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe we made it to the big 4-0?
Can't believe it.
And round 11 is now... George, where is it?
Oh, my favourite. It's in the can,
It's in the
Nicola.
can.
It's in the
Round
can.
11 is in the
It's
can.
in the can.
That's right. It's in the can. George, Artie, welcome back, gents.
Hey,
see
how's
you again.
things,
How
Artie?
I was going to actually get a
What do you
special
got?
guest
What's
today.
that?
I was going to get him, man, but apparently some guy from Newcastle, one of the players,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is terrible in Indonesia at the moment, so they can't get through. So
Fucking Wi-Fi.
We
you
are,
tried to get him, but you couldn't get him on the Zoom.
couldn't get him.
Couldn't get him on the
They're in
Zoom.
Bali, mate. They're back in Bali.
Mate, good on him, mate. After last weekend, good on him.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that after. We need to bring that up again. Let's run straight into our done and dusted, boys. The round that was. First game, Thursday night. Storm, 24 points to 16 over the Broncos. Were you guys surprised by that result?
You know what? I think the Broncos did well to hang in with two sin bins and Reynolds off early.
Yeah.
They were under the pump. And to lose to 8 in the end, it was a good effort. Melbourne were pretty good. They're back. They're definitely going to be in the top 8 this year. For anyone who had doubts they're going to be top 8, well, they just showed that they're going to be top 8. But, yeah, the Broncos, spirited effort there. But, very disappointing with some really shocking calls, which destroyed the game, I think. Would have been good if they had Carrigan on.
Yeah, I want to touch on some of those later
But,
as
yeah,
well.
it would have been nice if it was 13 on 13.
There's a lot of controversy officiating-wise
Sure,
that we'll touch on later. But, yeah. George?
Yeah, it was good.
It was one for the journos, Nicola. One for the journos. Two sin bins. What's a hip drop again? Because that wasn't a hip drop.
Yeah.
Two sin bins. The little general. HIA and gone for the
But
game.
incidentally, can I ask you a question on that? Because all year I've seen players walk off the field, excuse me, and they're given Category 1 HIAs. Adam Reynolds was unconscious, stretched it off the field, and he's a Category 2.
Category 2 was
Explain that to me.
it? No, I can't. I can't.
Which means if he passes a fitness test, he can play
He's
this
playing
week.
next week,
Yeah,
yeah.
but he had nerve damage, or like he felt some nerve.
Oh, from his neck.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
his
but he was
neck.
unconscious.
He was unconscious.
He's
yeah.
unconscious, yeah.
But it
Look,
was the neck too as well.
I don't know the rulings, and once again, NRL covered themselves in glory with their very precise rulings.
Yeah.
But look, one for the journos, like I said. Look, with two sin bins and your little general gone, you're really up against it. You're really up against it, Nicola. I thought the Broncos went well, but you know the Storm. Gee, they're a good coach team.
Doesn't matter who rolls into that side, eh?
They're a very well coached team.
Yeah.
They went out there with full of intent, full of energy. They're out infused. The Broncos. The halfback Hughes had probably the best game he's had this year.
He's a great player.
Yeah, and let me tell you,
Pappenhausen's getting closer, isn't he?
yeah,
Coming back.
I'm hearing, and look, all they care about is having 2 or 3 games before the semis. They don't care. They've given him all gear. But on the Storm, the energy they play with, their structures, and can they spot up when they spot a player? They just relentless. So I enjoyed it. Probably the game of the round. If I was a Bronco supporter, I would not worry. If I was a Storm supporter, as Artie said, they're back, baby.
They have
back.
surrendered. They have surrendered first place to the Rabbitohs now.
They have, but look, it was a game for the not for the ages, but as I said at the start, a game for the journos. They can
Another
sit there
close one.
They can sit there and talk about the decisions.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon at 6 p.m, the Bulldogs hosted the Warriors. They went down 24 points to 12.
Yeah, 2 from 2 for Webster Who, huh? He beat Seraldo twice now this
Absolutely.
year. Warriors are playing out really well. Sean Johnson had the ball on a string. He was phenomenal. He was so good.
And there's rumours that the Tigers have made him an offer
Oh, wow.
for next year as well.
I'm so glad that this guy's back because I've always enjoyed watching him. And when he went to Cronulla, he just wasn't the same. And now he's got a bit of life back into him. So it's good to have.
I was going to say he, but they all seem to be enjoying
They're all
themselves.
good, mate.
Webster's got things humming nicely over there.
Defense is so good. And it's hard to say that with a Warriors team, having a good defensive structure.
But you know what? I mean, the team's been plugged in pretty well when you look at 4 or 5 players that have gone there in the last year or two. They've brought some good quality personnel over, and it's starting to show.
And that was Brownie's purchase, believe it or
Yeah.
not. Yeah. The can I go on it now?
Yeah, sure.
The game, the Warriors. Look, the argument's over for me. In terms of the Penrith coach, did Bulldogs get the wrong coach? I think so. Webster jumps in straight away, and you see a change. That the first minute. Okay, we can argue about who's got better cattle. But I actually see a change in the Warriors, and I don't see too much of a change in the Bulldogs. They do the same, exactly the same issues. You know,
a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
injuries to the Bulldogs there, George. I feel a bit for Serraldo.
Who hasn't got injuries?
Yeah, but they've got a lot of forwards out. Like he hasn't really. You got to feel for him in that regard, mate.
Oh, look, I feel for him that he's got injuries. Yes, I feel for him, but
It's a lot of injuries, not just some. It's a lot.
But on so far, it's halfway through the year now.
He'll get his chance though. Like he's not under any pressure. Like he has time. He'll get his chance.
Well, all I can tell you is this: they're underperforming. The defense is, especially in the middle, paper thin. Okay, they don't defend their mistakes. Okay, Warriors probably let the 12 points in more than Canterbury work for the 12 points. On the other hand, the Warriors, as you said, are outstanding. He's unlocked the Da Vinci Code. I keep on saying it every week because I can't believe he's done that. Okay, they look much better with a genuine 5'8". Volkman, his name is, I think.
Yeah.
They look much better, and Sean looks much better. Standing next to a natural 5'8" instead of what's that lock from Manly again? Anyway,
Dylan Walker.
Dylan Walker.
I thought he did well when he
And
came
can I
on.
just say,
He's
Dylan
done real
Walker
well.
very well.
Yeah, coming off the bench. Yeah,
playing extremely well. But
that's what I mean. They've brought some good personnel over there in the past year or two.
I enjoyed the game in terms of what's unfolding with the Warriors. You know what? They're going to make the 8.
Looks that way. I've always said I never look at the ladder until about halfway through the season.
We're about there.
Now's when I start looking at it.
About there now.
Interesting. The next game blew me away. We spoke last week about how this is where the Roosters had to respond. 48 points to 4. The Panthers destroyed them.
Yeah. Panthers were brutal.
I mean, Isaiah was crossfield kicking for tries. I mean, everyone was in on this one.
Yeah, Penrith were good, but Roosters... Now I've been defending him for a while now, but now I think
they've lost Joey Manu for an extended period as well.
Yeah, there's something going on there, mate. They're going to run out of time soon. They've got to sort these out.
This was the game that we were talking about. We expected some kind of response. We certainly didn't see it.
I definitely expected it too. And
George?
now with the injuries piling up, it's not looking good.
Just before we get to this game, this is the round we had to have. I mean, every round previous to this, we said was entertaining, was very competitive, was actually high quality. This one got back to our normal NRL sort of round. A few games of quality, and then the rest.
Some blowouts.
Yeah, entertaining, but let's say not quality. For this one here, the sleeping giant has awoken. It was just a matter of time before the sleeping giant was awake.
You're referring to Penrith?
Absolutely, Penrith. You know what? Roosters came out with intent. And if you watch the game, every time someone was taking up, they were all pushing up together as one. I don't know if you saw it. Okay, and when I saw that, I go, oh, happy days. Here we go. This is going to be a little doozy.
Yeah.
By the 10th, 15th minute, it was over. The game was over. They were, Penrith kept on bashing the middle, and the Roosters just kept on folding over. We found our answer for the left side for Penrith, and the name is Sorensen.
Yes, he had a blinder.
Yeah,
Wow.
We've tried a few. He knows the system. He's been there for a year. He runs those lines, especially outside of Luluai, especially at that precise second where he's got to be, how he's got to be. He knows the system. We found the answer. So that's a tick, and thank God that's a tick, because that was the missing piece. That line. Adi said they were brutal. They're scary. Martin didn't even play extended minutes. Watch his space. Roosters, they've got issues.
Big
They can't even recall Walker because he's injured too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to suggest to you over the last few years, the purchases they've made, they've probably not bought, and we keep on hearing this, rooster style players. I had an issue last year with the front rower. Was it Hodge?
Lodge.
Yeah,
Lodge.
yeah.
Lodge. And you guys convinced me that I was,
Well,
you know,
he's a good player,
a very good player.
but he hasn't really done it
But-
down there.
But you know what? Roosters are more pick for character than play, and then they get you up to a certain standard of play. They bought on sheer talent and probably overlooked about character. So either Robbo's got a massive job to pull this team together, or I'm wrong. And come look, semi-finals they will make. There's no doubt about that. But Nick Politis, you know, every year plays for trophies.
Yeah.
Not looking for semi-finals.
Yeah.
He'll go off his rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Panthers have got Brisbane this week, so it'll be
Have they?
interesting. I
Wow.
think
Yeah.
we'll see when we get down there.
That
But
would be good. Yeah. But Reynolds will be out, I think.
Reynolds will be out. You said he might not be
well, it
out.
was a category 2, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But he might get ruled out during the week.
I think he will.
So he should be if he got knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're serious about things, Nicola.
Mm.
But
Well,
let's
every
see.
other category one's walked off the field.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
He got stretchered off. Yeah.
So opening on Saturday, the Rabbitohs 20-0 over the Tigers, but the score doesn't really reflect the game. It was 8-0 with about 8 or 9 minutes to go. It wasn't an easy day for the Rabbitohs. Tigers did well.
You got to give it to the Tigers.
Yeah.
Their defense is getting there. You know what I
They
mean?
played really well.
They made them work for the 20 points. But in saying that, I still don't think the South. I think they were in second gear most of it, to be honest. But to be honest, it was a bludger of a game.
Yeah.
It was a bludger. Hard to
It was
watch.
boring, yeah.
It was boring. But yeah, Tigers. At least they defended well. They're getting there, slowly getting there. You know what I mean? Off a couple of wins, and then to go down to the best team with 3 tries to 0. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Nicola, I struggled to watch this game.
It was a hard one.
You can gauge.
It was a hard watch.
Yeah, you can gauge the Rabbitohs' engagement through Latrell. And Latrell wasn't engaged at all, nearly. He did have some moments, but I can't believe he got 4 daily endpoints. I'm staggered, but he wasn't engaged, Nicola. Tigers did defend well, but Rabbitohs didn't really throw too much
They
at
did,
him.
yeah.
But look, as time went on,
They
didn't-
never looked in danger,
No,
did
no.
they?
No.
As time went on, the Rabbitohs did enough to win. Rabbitohs got 2 points. Maybe they got one eye on next week's game, which is very big for this team and this
great.
club.
Yeah,
And being Indigenous round.
yeah. You got the Eels.
They got the Eels. Sorry, I forgot about that, Nicola. And look, the Tigers tried extremely hard. I'm not going to deny that. And my standout, somehow Latrell got the 4, 5, 6 points, whatever they give these days. But I thought Campbell Graham was outstanding.
He's just been great every week.
Yeah, I thought Campbell Graham was outstanding. I think some of the forwards did enough to win. And I think that's all we should say about this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The following game,
No.
Cowboys 42 points to 22 over the Dragons.
Go
Ben,
on.
Arthur?
Ben Hunt's 300th game.
Ben Hunt's 300th
Just wanted to
game.
mention that.
Bravo about that.
It blew out late, didn't it?
Look, after that stupid sin bin for Sullivan, which basically gave the Cowboys the
3
points.
tries in that period.
Yeah, but look, the Cowboys would have won regardless. They were the much better team, but that sin bin was pretty bad. I thought the referee was poor throughout the whole game, to be honest. I think if the Cowboys threw him the ball, he would have ran over and scored for him as well. That's how bad he was. But look, the Cowboys look good. They didn't look troubled at all. Whenever they flicked the switch, they got a lot of points in them, that's for sure, and they got their defence back. St George scored a couple of lucky tries, an intercept, and a few others. But yeah, Cowboys are back. Good to see. I don't want to talk much about the Dragons. I'm too distraught.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Sullivan thing really
Annoys you?
really annoyed
Yeah,
me.
we'll touch
'cause
on that a bit later
I'll
as
touch
well.
on it later. Yeah, the less said, the better.
Yeah. Look, Cowboys fully not back. I saw enough
Yeah.
glimpses for them to say that they're coming back. I think Lukey.
He was great.
Did he have an ACL last year?
I don't know, but
He was out
was
most-
out most of the year.
Most of the year came out,
Yeah.
and the good thing is that I think very soon a back row, the Tigers back row who played last year.
Luluai, yeah, Leilua.
Leilua's coming back, so
Tomalolo should be soon.
Tomalos, so there'll be a real
Nanai's only a couple of weeks away, isn't he?
Yeah. So he'll be back too.
So good. There'll be competitions for the middle. So I've seen enough to say that they're slowly coming back. Even Drinky, look, he done some dreadful things, but he done enough good things to forget about the dreadful things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you get from Drinky. He's going to score you 3 tries, but he'll let in 2. You know what I mean?
But Dearden was
was
pretty
outstanding.
good. He was great.
And you know what? At the end of last year, Dearden was the one who was the real champ in that team, and we're seeing that type of form. So they're slowly coming back.
Yeah.
And Robson too. Robson the hooker was pretty damn good.
Yes,
clawing their way back into form.
Yeah, so slowly but surely, and again, I don't know why they've had a start that they've had, but hopefully, Payton's sorted that out. I'm going to unload on the Dragons a little bit later on.
Okay.
I'm like Artie. I got the score in front of me, and I'm just empty. I'm just empty inside. I'm not a St George supporter.
I think as a club, they're reaching breaking point now.
I think so.
Yeah.
But to think that I got a guy next to me who's reached breaking point, and me, a friend and a fan of the game, I'm reaching breaking point.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any club go through this. You know what I mean? And it's hurting me. And sorry, before you go on, I'm gonna unload on him, and the reason I unload is because I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Because I love the game so much.
You know what surprised me? Right at the beginning, he put Hunt at number 9, and he put Sullivan at half. And Hunt from dummy half set up Jack DeBellin, and I thought, wow, this is fantastic. I was actually going, finally, the coin's dropped. He's going to start the best possible spine we've got. He's going to play with it. So I had a bit of optimism. I thought, wow, this is good. We've actually got a good chance here. And then after the sin bin, man, it was just...
Gee, I wish I could say the same thing about our game.
You know what? I don't understand Hook, because if he's going to drop our favourite centre, well, the other centre on the other side is going just as bad, so he might as well drop both of them in Reggie's. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You're talking about
Sully, yeah. And he dropped, what's our favourite?
It was pathetic.
Yeah, and you know what? To keep Sullivan on the bench when he took him off, forget if he's doing well or not doing well. This is a 20-year-old young man. What confidence are you giving? I know what confidence he's giving him. Yeah. No confidence at all. So I don't know. Look, I'm as perplexed as I think the St George players are. And let's move on. St George's depresses.
So closing out Saturday night, the Raiders at home in Canberra, 26 points to 18 over the Eels.
Talk to me, brother.
Disappointed again as an Eels fan, but I thought it was a really good game to watch. It was exciting. It was
it was good.
Pretty even. It was 8-8 at half time. Second half, the Raiders stepped it up a notch. The Eels cracked under pressure. They had a 67 or 68% completion. Just terrible. Turning over too much ball and shot themselves in the foot. No Moses, obviously, but Canberra thoroughly deserved to win it.
That was Canberra's 5th game now in a row they've won, and that's pushed them up to up to 14 points.
Yeah.
So they've done extremely
well. They did really well. They really stepped it up in the second half.
They've improved leaps and bounds. The halfback is doing okay too now.
I love
Fogarty's playing well.
You know how much of what I feel about Fogarty. I love Fogarty.
Wolford was good, the hooker.
Yes.
The spine's coming around nicely. They're starting to play
What's
good
that young centre they got? Love
Sebastian Chris?
No, that's the fullback.
Not Hopawadi.
No. You just keep on talking and I'll find his name. What a great young man.
Do you think that now that Whiten has announced that he's going to South, it's just going to motivate him so much more to send him out on a high? Like, this is all of a sudden, let's do it for Jack.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I mean, everyone's all the commentary around the Raiders has been since Whiten announced his departure, they've stepped up. But that's not actually the case. They got belted by Penrith 6 weeks ago.
Exactly.
And they stepped it up immediately after that.
Yeah.
So I think that game played a big role in turning their season around.
It did.
I don't know. I would have hated to have been training with them that week, especially under Ricky Stewart.
Yeah.
But they've I mean, they're on a great roll, thoroughly deserved. They're playing well.
Yeah.
And they're just going to get better too.
Can I just give a big shout out to Matthew Timiko? I don't know where he's from. Don't know if he's a local junior, but the kid's dynamic.
Yeah, he's good.
He's dynamic. He's got spider webs. I can't tackle.
Yeah.
He's not a very big man, but he's a tall man, but he's a very big man. And when he runs with venom and purpose. And like I said, he just tore at some stages back end of the game, just tore Parramatta apart. Isn't it funny when you haven't got anything on your mind how you can play better?
Yeah.
Jack's back to his best.
Can I say something, George?
Yes.
Tell me if you agree with this. Hudson Young, if he's not an Origin New South
gotta wear
Wales
blue.
back row,
He's gotta wear
got to
blue.
be
No,
able
he's really good.
gotta
He's
wear
built
blue.
for Origin. The way his attitude, the way he carries himself,
He's very,
and
very
plays,
good. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd put him. He'd be my first one picked in the back
I'll
row.
be as much as this. Last year, I was disgusted that Addo Carr didn't get picked. Okay, if Hudson Young doesn't get picked this year, okay, and I can understand
He's not even in the conversation.
no,
Well,
no way.
do you think they're going to drop Trbojevic or
If Trbojevic is injured,
He's playing.
no? I'm
proper.
talking about Jake.
yeah, Jake isn't he injured? He's
The
injured.
thing
At the
about-
moment, he is. But
The
he'll
thing
probably
about
back.
Fitlow is that he's shown that he doesn't drop people he's relied on to give people a chance. I mean, I agree. Hudson Young should be in the team,
He's made for
at least on the
Origin.
bench.
He's made for Origin. I'll tell
But
you.
whether or not they pick him, I'm not
I'll
I'm
be
not holding
shocked.
my breath.
I'll be shocked. I will
Yeah.
be shocked if Hudson Young isn't at least on the bench.
Mm.
Definitely in the squad. There's not even a question there. If he's not on the bench, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Yeah.
Fiddler can't be that off. Can't be that off.
You happy with Jermaine Hapgood? They've re-signed him now for a few more years. I
Yeah,
think.
happy with
that's
him.
good.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
been great.
Yeah, happy
Probably one
with
of the
him.
signings of the year for you guys.
Yeah, he
He's
has been. Yeah.
Can I just say something about Parramatta? You mentioned everything. The drop balls, the completions, and you're going to talk about Arthur later. You know what? His son, Jake Arthur, because I rewatched the game this morning. I got up really early, and I watched the shorts yesterday, but I watched the full game today. The minute Dylan Brown took over the team and was first receiver, they looked so much better, and things were happening. Most of the game, Jake was first receiver and running the team. I mean, the kid's a Reggie player.
Mm.
I love him. He's going to be good one day. I think he's 19. I don't know. He's 20, 19? I think he's only 19.
It answers your question from last week. Is Dylan Brown better without Moses? The answer is no.
Oh, no. If Moses was playing, beside being, let's say it'll be a much closer game, I suggest to you, with his kicking game, it might have been a different score. But at the least, it'll be a much, much closer game. No, Moses is that player that we all think he is, and he's becoming that player that I thought he was going to be. So there's no issue there.
But anyway, the next game killed me. I would have had a full round if not for this next game. Fucking Barley.
The Barley Gate.
I would have had a full round if not for this game.
Really?
Newcastle 46-26 over the Gold Coast. They scored 20 points in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It was a close game. It was a really
It was.
close game up until that point.
it was.
And we'll touch on this after, but Bradman Best, turns out he was the only player who went to Bali. He had a great game. Ponga had a really good game.
Yeah.
Don't know what else to say, really. Gold Coast were disappointing.
We all did say last week that this was going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
We said it'd be like a 38-30.
70 point scores,
So
40
we-
60, 70 points scored.
We picked the points. That was Ponga's second full game at 5'8", and look how good he was. Hey?
Yeah, I know.
See that kick that he did? Everything
know.
was just natural. He's a very good player.
George,
He's
probably-
a very good.
I'm there.
He's a natural. I
I'm
know
there.
you've been talking about Roos Walsh and that, but
He showed me.
and that's his second
He showed
game
me.
at
He
5'8".
showed me. You know, Nicola, the suntan lotion wasn't even dry yet, and the
Ponga-
boys ran out.
Yeah.
And on that, I want to apologise to all Newcastle supporters and the whole team because I got it wrong. And not only that, I think they all should have went because Hal Bradman Best did play. Maybe
Yeah.
we all should go on to Bali. And you know what? If my team's in a hole, I'll be right into Super
Go to
Super
Bali.
Coach. Yeah, to Mr. Popular and say everybody should go to Bali for the week.
Question, mate, for you.
Yeah,
The St George Lock.
love him.
Is he an Origin player?
I think he is. He
He's
won't get
played
picked.
Origin.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's
I
been-
think
is he?
I think he is.
Probably his best season.
I
Didn't,
think
wasn't there a story about Fittler calling him and telling him he's in the conversation?
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
he should be.
There you go.
He's
He's
proven.
been phenomenal.
He's played.
Yeah.
You know what?
Phenomenal.
He hasn't played that good, and you better tell everybody who it is.
Frizzell, Carson Frizzell.
He hasn't played that good. I think the last time I saw him play that good was St George.
Yeah. He's-
So I don't think he's played that good for
Pretty good.
Newcastle. But you know what? They're the Pod's two fun teams, and gee, did they give us some fun? Titans were okay, but last week they tricked me, and I thought they were improving. Yeah, no, they can't tackle.
Well, it was a tight game up until the last 15 minutes.
It was a tight game, and then all of a sudden Ponga went off and
Yeah.
absolutely destroyed them.
I mean, the Gold Coast were in the lead early in the second
I was
half.
going to talk about Fafita's two tries.
Yeah, exactly. For Fed of the long break. That was-
The guy's got something special.
Yeah, he does.
And he will be an Origin player again this year. And there's something about some players where even if they're not sighted, anything could happen. He's one of them. And yes, guys, I got egg on my face. Kalen Ponga not only should be in the Origin team. If he keeps this form, he might be close to Dalian. So and worth every cent of 1.45, whatever
Well,
he gets.
let's see.
So let's hope. But look, the Barley Gate game was, let's say, exciting.
The last game of the round was a bit of a bludger. The Sharks 20 points to 14 over the Seagulls at Brookvale, or whatever it's called. What's it called now?
4 points.
Pines.
4
Pines,
points.
yeah.
What was it called last week? Kit Kat Stadium or something? What was it?
I don't know.
Last year?
Last year. No, it was 4 points
You
again
know, it
last
had some
year.
other
Did it?
stupid name before.
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, Brookie.
Brookie,
It
that's
was a bit of a
that's it.
dour affair.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Sharks did what they had to do to win. Turbo, nowhere to be seen. What do you think?
Yeah. Look, I thought Sharks would win by a bit more actually, and Seagulls did make a bit of a game of it in the end, but it was a bit of a hard to watch. They scored some late tries to bring it close. DC keeps trying hard. He's a fighter, isn't he? He's pretty good. Ola Kawatu got hit up a few times, but he was trying. But the Sharks, Nico Hines, mate, he's got to be in the conversation. He's definitely got to be in the frame for Origin, on the bench maybe. Good side, the Sharks. They just did what they had to do.
Yeah.
I felt like they were in second gear, to be honest.
Yeah, they were. Nicola, this was the bludger of the round by far. By far.
The second bludger. We had two this week.
Yeah, we had two, but this one probably pipped the other one. Cronulla started with a bang and got off to a big league, obviously, and Nico was pulling the strings. Then for some unknown reason, they stopped.
Yeah,
They just
weird.
They just put the cue in the rack, and Manly pretended to play some good rugby league. DC did play good rugby league. You mentioned Ola Kuata, whatever.
Yeah.
Be quite honest, he didn't want to be on. He got smashed.
Mm.
There's problems in Seagull Town. I'm telling you now, because any other team would have put 40 on them. They're lucky that they met a Cronulla who just wanted to get back on track, and on track they did. They got the 2 points and they got out of there and went back to the prison. But Manly got issues. Manly have got issues, and I'm not gonna say it's the professor. But there's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. They're going get busted. They really are.
Well, that closes out round 11. Let's go for the shootout, boys. What was the best game of the round?
Oh,
My favourite game was... Sorry, I got my stuff here, actually.
Broncos Storm for me, Nicola. Again, controversial, high quality play. If it wasn't for the little master and his HIA, the scores might have been different. But the Storm, extremely well coached team. Extremely well coached team.
I liked a lot of points, mate, so I went Newcastle versus Titans. It's my two favourite
the
teams.
Barley Gate.
The Barley Gate.
Yeah, no. Great entertainment.
It was
The,
good entertainment.
Barley
fun.
Gate.
The fun.
Barley Gate.
The Barley Gate.
I'm going to go the Eels Raiders. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole night.
No, excitement. Excitement.
Bludger of the round. I think we can all agree there were two.
Yeah, neck and neck.
Tiger South.
Tiger South
Yeah.
and the last one,
Yeah,
Sharks
Manly.
and
Yeah,
Manly.
Manly, yeah.
What stood out for you guys this week?
What stood out for me was Ponga coming back to form. That was fantastic. I'm glad I saw a bit of the old Ponga back. So that
Yeah.
stood out to me.
I
Really
like that.
impressive.
I like that. I didn't think of that, but I like that.
Mm.
But what really stood out, how a team, chockers, completely loaded, have stars, internationals everywhere, and play so shit.
Who's that?
Roosters.
Yeah, my standout
Mm.
is actually on the flip side. I was going to say the
The
Panthers.
pennies, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but you're right. The Roosters very disappointing. Who gets the John Crease spray for round 11? I know where mine's going, but you guys go first.
Mine's the obvious one. I think I've touched on it before. And I've given it to this bloke every week, I think. But
Hook.
the way he treated Sullivan, to me, that's disgusting, mate. That was disgusting. I felt sorry for that kid. What was going through his head? It's terrible. So I would have given it to him.
George?
I've got two. I'm going to second what Arthur said because of that. Because
Yep.
of not because of his coaching, because of what he's doing to
Treatment.
Some, yeah,
Yeah.
what he's doing
Cool.
to some young players. He should be established first graders by now. And you know what? St George are lucky they haven't left, because I would leave.
Yeah.
They're very lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, and you take them away, let me see, your future's gone really quick.
Mm.
And you know what? We've said it before on other pods, but the quality of games this year have disguised how terrible the refereeing has been.
Yeah.
Refereeing has been atrocious. They have not kept up to the players or the quality of the players. Now, Adi's going to say that it's the bunker that's more the issue than the referees. I'll go there as well. But it's the officiating in general.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the officiating later on.
Yeah.
What's interesting was that Graham Annesley, he comes out every Monday with his crap. And he said today, this afternoon, he said, so the bunker has 12 camera angles, which is more than twice as many as what we see on television. They've got, and they still fuck it up, right?
And they get it wrong
I have
then.
no idea. I have no idea.
Did he say anything about the sin binning
of
Jade Sullivan? Or-
I didn't watch the whole thing, so I'd be
okay.
lying.
I'd love to know. Yeah.
I reckon Anthony. I reckon the Wonder Boy Anthony will get it right more than these
Yeah.
It
NRL.
is. It's just
But
terrible.
my John
Oh,
Crease
players,
spray goes to
anyway.
Ricky Stewart because he's an idiot,
Yeah.
and we'll touch on that a little bit later. He's the only person alive, I think,
Yeah.
who thinks that Corey Horsburgh didn't throw a punch. And he was incorrectly sin bin.
I love Rick.
Who's the Manoli's player of the round?
Look-
Who gets the snack pack with extra parmesan this week?
Look, this the guy that's going to get the snack pack, from Manoli is going to get it personally delivered to Cubicle 3 in the Newcastle
Caleb Ponga.
Newcastle Sports Club. While he sits in the cubicle there, Manoli will bring it straight to him, and he'll get the chips with the parmesan
And the
cheese.
parmesan as
What's
well.
in that cubicle, I don't know, but
Mate.
apparently you can get drinks from there and
Yeah,
everything. so
everything
it's
you
pretty
want.
good, yeah.
Mind you, he's going to bring the pop-up van in the front so he can get the extra customers when they're going out,
That's it. Yeah.
drunk.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if this gentleman knows your guy, so they probably can't get together. But Hughes from the Storm,
Jerome Hughes.
Jerome Hughes, outstanding game, probably the best game he's had this year, Nicola. The only issue is that he doesn't like parmesan.
Bit of a problem there.
Yeah, he'll take the
Is
chips.
he
Yeah.
lactose intolerant? Can't have the cheese.
He must be lactose intolerant. He's seen Monster because we've given it to Monster a few times. He's seen the loves the gyro, but just doesn't want the parmesan on the chips. So he might bring one of his kids to have the chips. So,
Well, I think my player of the round is going to have to tie his hair up so he doesn't get parmesan stuck in his hair. I'm giving it to Jerome Luluai for his performance for the
good
Panthers.
game.
Yeah.
yay! We've broken Nicola.
No. I've always said, what do we call this pod? This is the pod that tells it like it is, right?
We're
I'll
gonna
give
tell
credit
like it
where
is.
credit is due.
Yeah, no,
That's
he
it.
played well. He played well, and I think not only that, I think the argument about New South Wales 5'8", I think he answered the.
Take
question.
it easy.
Oh, he
Slow-
answered the
put the
question.
brakes on. It takes more than one good game
I've got this gut feeling
because
that
he's been pretty average all season.
he has.
So let's see.
I said that, but I think one's going to be on the bench and one's going to start.
You know what? It's funny. Greg Alexander, who's not biased at all. If you ever watch him commentate,
Never.
Listen to him in SEN. Want to see
you
bias?
should have seen him pushing Luluai for selection after the game.
Oh, Penrith.
Yeah, and his best mate, and he's a selector too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
The selector, yeah.
Right, and his best mate's the coach.
Yeah.
Interesting, but we'll see. Look, he'll get his chance.
Best
and,
mate or their brother-in-law? No.
no.
it's
His
Guyer.
brother-in-law's with Mark Geyer,
Oh, that's it.
but he's good mates with
Oh,
Fitler.
they all grew up together,
And,
basically.
You know, he was just talking Luluai up so much. You know, he's answered his critics. You know, he's shown he deserves his play. Well, it takes more than one good game. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But if he does make the New South Wales team, my advice would be wear your hair out. You'll get a few penalties. Let's move into
Maybe.
Controversy Corner, where we break down the issues of the game
My favourite part of the
this
show.
week. If I have to kick it off with this one, the Newcastle Knights Bali trip. The bottom line is we all fucked up.
We got it wrong.
We got it completely wrong. There's only one player that went to Bali, and that was Bradman Best, who came back and had a whale of a game. So, on behalf of the team here, apologies for wasting 10 minutes last week. It was fun arguing anyway.
It was Gould's fault. Gould's the one who started blowing
Yeah,
up the
Gus
lights.
Gould, man.
So we just assumed there must have been a lot of them
Yeah.
for Gould to go off.
Did Gould say it?
Yeah, Gould's the one who said he went off.
Yeah, Phil Gould's the one who started everything.
Thanks, Gus.
He did. He
He's doing us
started
a
it.
favour.
Yeah.
Hook,
Oh,
Artie. Actually, I'm going to go to George first,
please.
and then we'll come back to you in a moment, Arthur, right? Because I know George has got a few things he wants to get off his chest.
I've got
George,
a few
apparently
things, guys.
tomorrow. Apparently, it's going to be announced tomorrow that Hook's gone.
I hope so.
Please. I hope so.
I hope so too. And why I say that is because in a short space of time, what is done to a once, always famous, but once a great club is devastating, honestly. And I've got some audio here to show once upon a time the club that St George was.
Constantly moving the ball amongst the forwards, St George hold the initiative to gain entry into Balmain's stronghold, and they're poised for an all-out attack. Walsh sends to Smith, on to Clay, who reverse passes. Ducking under Beatson's tackle, Smith sends Pollard away on the burst, and he crosses for a spectacular try.
That seems such a long time ago, doesn't it?
Well, fuck, it was 1966.
It was a long time. and Artie just told me that was the 11th in a row. If I'm not wrong, Artie, is
The
that
11th
right?
premiership in a
11th
row.
66, 11th premiership in a row, yeah.
11th premiership in the row. But what I'm trying to highlight is that in lack of better words, the Real Madrid, the Barcelona of the competition, has Artie said it himself, are basically a laughing stock. You know what I mean? Then now we got the players, and you know what? After having some conversations off the air, the boys made me realise that they're all frustrated. All the players are frustrated, but you know what? When you're all supposed to be a professional, because basically it's your job and you're a professional, and you hear things like this, it irks me a bit. And let's hear some audio, and you guys can tell me what you guys think regarding this, and I'll tell you what I think.
Fans don't really know too much about footy, I don't think. They've got a lot to say about people on the field, so I don't think they've ever played a game of footy, but I'm just speaking from first-hand, stuff.
That was
Jack Bird.
Jack Bird. I was going to say Greg Bird again.
I know you were.
That
That's why I
was,
jumped in.
that was Jack Bird. Now, obviously, this happened a week ago, and when I heard it, I was riled up. And why was I riled up? Because this gentleman gets $10,000 a week. $10,000 a week. You know what? For a guy who's got some physical and mental talents, okay, and plays a game that I hope he loves, okay, he gets, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that, okay. But you know what? I go to work and I might make $1,000 a week. So he gets $9,000 more than me, and he comes out and he says these comments, and he just stirred me. It just stirred me wrong. It riled me up. What do you guys think about that? And I've calmed down since before.
Believe he has calmed down a lot.
I want to be fair. I want to be fair. I want to be fair.
I'll just say two things quickly, just real quick, because I see both sides. I get it. The first piece of audio was wonderful, doesn't it? I can't say it brings back memories. It was 9 years before I was born, but it just brings back nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily blame Anthony Griffin for everything that's gone wrong in the last 67 years.
No.
Right?
I was just pointing
just
that.
so high, yeah. George is going back to a time when the club was at its greatness, and I suppose pointing out how much of a low it's at the moment.
Absolutely, that's
right?
what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
The second thing, I get it. To me, I think maybe it was taken a bit out of context. I think he just sounded pissed off that he probably copped some criticism. He probably copped some shit from fans over the fence on the at the game or whatever, and he's obviously lashing out at either a specific group of fans or a particular fan who he's saying they don't play the game, they don't know what we do. It's easy to criticise us, but I understand the whole $10,000 a week thing. But at the end of the day, they're players. They've got feelings. They're just like anyone else.
He actually said that Hook's going through. You don't know what Hook's going through. He's going through a lot of things.
Well, think about it.
And no, he wasn't alluding to that. What he was alluding to was at the end of last year, Hook's father passed away.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what? All respect to that. Last year, I went to six funerals, and other people in this house went to funerals which were very close to them. But you know what? They rocked up the other week and they gave their best, their very, very best, every day at their jobs. You know what I mean? Now, no disrespect, Jack, sticking up for your mate. You can go with him in Caloundra next week and play under 14s, change your birth certificate and play under 14s. And you know what? I don't think he'll be the best on the team.
Yeah, but see, my spin on that is that none of us do our jobs on live TV, and none of us get stories printed in the newspaper the next day if we make a mistake at work.
Nicola. He's a professional. The minute you put your hand out and accept $10,000 a week, okay?
Yeah, but I don't see what the salary's got to do with anything.
Everything. You're a professional. You get paid for that.
We're professionals too.
But he gets
at what we do.
And you're outstanding at your job because if you
know.
wouldn't be, you'd be sacked.
But 500,000 people don't watch me work every day.
But
if I make a mistake, it's not on the back page of the paper.
But he gets well compensated for that.
Yeah,
he gets well compensated for that.
That's fair enough. But he's a person too. You know what I mean?
I agree as a person.
He's a person too. He's got feelings.
Absolutely, he is, and he said what he said.
And he has the right.
And he got criticised all through the media, all through every pod I heard.
I don't agree with it.
And I think what he said.
The fact that someone gets paid well doesn't negate the fact that they have the right to defend themselves either. I mean, Ronaldo was getting $350,000 a week. And he got shit for coming out and saying that he wasn't happy the way Manchester United were running things. Okay. Yeah, he's got a right to say that.
Well, again, I'm not aware with what happens in the round ball game. I don't follow it that well, but Artie did mention something about
I
guess
all I'm saying is, regardless of how much any of these players get paid, that doesn't give the right to muzzle them. They still have the right to an opinion.
And he said it. All I'm saying is this: that you're a professional. You get well compensated. At best, if you didn't have a physical skill or a mental skill, okay, you'll be digging holes either on unemployment or in jail, and that's where I think this guy will be, in jail. Okay, that's my opinion, Nicola. That's my opinion. That's fine.
Based on what though?
His intelligence.
He might be.
Well, he showed us. He showed us. He came out with cameras in front of him, and he said, what did he say? That fans have got no idea. How about we stop watching television? How about we stop buying jerseys? Okay, and guess what? That 10,000 dries up real quick, Nicola. Real quick.
I can relate to what he's saying because I'm one of those fans.
Oh, I'm
an armchair expert who screams at the TV.
So am I.
And I'm exactly who he's talking to. You know what I mean?
But
so
again, we have got every right to have an opinion.
Yeah,
because
we're
the guys. Well, he said it.
Yeah,
he said it.
That's all I'm saying.
He said it, and that's what the response is. He's getting universal response. Okay,
yeah,
universal response.
That's everyone's entitled to their opinion.
You know what? If he performed like he's performing now, at least for the last 2 years in the real world, he would be on the dole. But guess what? He's lucky enough he can perform like he is and still get his $10,000. So he has got lots of privileges.
Well, he's under contract.
Well, exactly. So how would you go if you didn't perform?
Well, I wouldn't get sacked.
No,
No,
2 years now.
there's a process. When people don't perform,
How-
performance improvement. There's warnings. There's
How long would that
Months,
process go?
months.
Not 2 years, but
he doesn't work every day. He works 1 day a week as far as the public eye goes.
oh no, he works every day.
He works 1 day a week in terms of the public eye. We don't watch him train.
No, we
don't
watch
see
him
what he
train.
does during the week. We're assessing him on what we see 1 day a week.
Well, the important day.
Yeah,
The important day.
for us, every day is the important day.
Well, us for every day. Well, even more so.
But I'll say it again.
Even more so. We're in the right and he's in the wrong.
Again, and this is just me, right? But if I make a mistake at work and it's on the back page of the paper and they're talking about me on NRL 360, I'd get the shits and I'd get defensive too.
Well, I'll say it again.
Doesn't matter what I get paid. It's
if-
no one's business.
Well, no. The minute you accept,
No, I don't agree.
the minute you accept, you're open slather.
Yeah, but every player's open slather.
Absolutely.
All I'm saying is they should have a right to defend themselves too.
Well, he did that, and he did that in very, very fine fashion.
He did apologise for it, by the way, because he said it was taken out of context.
Well, I don't know about out of context, but he did apologise for it. But you know what? He did enough to get the media riled up. Artie, you're the man we should talk about.
You're the Dragons fan. You tell us what
so
you
you
think.
tell us what you think.
Okay, he copped a lot of flack on Facebook,
did.
everything, right? Now, the way I see it is, I thought it was terrible what he said, and I'm glad he retracted it and the next day he apologised. But the way I saw it was, players are a true reflection of the coach, and it showed arrogance. And the way we see them play is arrogant. They think they're just so good, they're going to go out there, win. Before they go on the field, they talk it up as if they're good. And that comment just typified of what mental state that team is currently in. And it's truly driven by the coach. I think he's a terrible coach.
I just think you accentuated my point as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put myself in his position. I'm a professional. He gets paid 10 grand a week, whatever it was. Did you say 10 grand, right?
It's 12 actually.
I'm a professional who gets paid 12 grand a week, right?
Yeah.
And yet I'm getting criticised from hundreds of people on Facebook, hundreds of fucking idiots who do nothing, who are nothing. They're faceless. They don't even have to own the criticism. They can do it. They can do it from behind a laptop without anyone knowing who they are.
But he's criticised
and I've
them
got to
first.
deal with that shit.
But
He criticised them
He's
first,
criticised them, saying they don't know nothing.
Well, he's
about
obviously done it
football.
in response to something.
And they're paying money. They're paying his wages, man. If without fans,
Yeah.
he's got nothing. So
He-
to say that is pretty disrespectful.
what he was suggesting.
And the way they play their football is
Was
disrespectful to fans. The way they treat everything, it's just all on the coach. He's just terrible. And the treatment of Sullivan was even worse. It was even.
Well, let's forget
it's
that.
No, but we're going
terrible.
off topic now.
But
Yeah,
now
yeah.
with St George at the moment, you had the glory days. It's been really good, like in the '66. But since Bennett left, it's just been disaster after disaster. And this is one point that I'll make here. We had an assistant to Mary McGregor, who we got rid of, who won everything possible that he could under that tenure. Right, we got rid of him because we didn't think he was good enough. He's now coaching South and they're at number 1, right? And we have got a dud, and we're 16th. That's the St George mentality.
I'm just laughing because we've gone from Jackson Bird. Artie's
Jackson
just gone
Bird,
straight back to the
Oh,
fucking
I
hall.
know.
No.
But it's just
Can I just give context to that? That comment was for Hook.
Yeah.
Wasn't for him. That
Yeah.
they've got no idea. That they haven't got no idea what Hook's going through, and you know the people who talk shit don't know what's happening.
And to be fair, I mean, we all agree the guy's got to go, right?
Yeah,
we know that. But again, you know, he has been working under duress since the start of the season.
That's
So
true.
It's a shit spot to be in.
I understand players.
It's not
defending
working for him. He's got to go, right?
I understand players defending the coach, and I've seen it happen many times. But Ben Hunt, Bird, they just go over the line. It's like they'd rather respect him more than the fans, and that's when they push it too much. You know what I mean? Some of the attacks that they make.
Look, fans can be
terrible.
assholes too.
Yeah, but
right?
we-
Yeah, I know.
me included, by the way.
But we do pay their salaries.
But
don't,
some of
don't,
the-
don't, don't think St George pay the salaries or the
No,
NRL pays
I
salaries.
know, but they supply us with a shitload of entertainment
Absolutely,
too.
that's
It
their
goes
job.
both ways.
That's
right?
their job. But that's their job. You're giving them too much credit. You're giving
How?
them too much credit. Okay, think about what they're doing.
Yeah, what?
They're getting most
Do you
of
think
them.
it's easy?
No way in the world.
think it's-
You've heard
Do you
me.
think like operating
Nico,
under that
Nico,
kind of scrutiny every
No,
day?
no.
Do you think
Nico,
that's
you've heard me say how physically and mentally demanding
No,
it is.
forget about that. I'm talking
Okay.
about living your life in the public eye.
Part of the job.
Yeah, it's part of the job,
Don't
but it
take-
doesn't
easy.
make it any easier.
Nicola,
No, but-
easy.
but
Don't
what-
take the money.
No, but
Don't take the
George,
money. Come with me in the morning.
It's not that
Would you
cut and
see
dry,
someone
George.
at the
Why?
Storm? Would you see someone at the Storm say something like that on camera?
No way in the world.
No way.
No way in the
I've
world.
no, I've
No
seen.
one.
Well, wait a second. I've seen him snort cocaine on camera.
No,
What's the
no,
difference?
But have you seen him
No, it's
bag
true.
the fans? Would you ever see a Bellamy coach player
I-
or a Robbo or anyone bag a fan?
I
no.
mean, that's hypothetical. I don't know.
You
I don't know.
wouldn't do it, but these guys get away with everything because of Hook. That's why they're just saying.
Well, we're talking about one guy who made one comment.
Ben Hunt's
A
made some
massive
really bad
comment.
comments
Bag
as
the
well.
fans.
Ben Hunt's made some comments.
Did he
too
bag
that-
the fans?
No, but he said that if we sack Hook, we're going to go backwards 2 years.
But that's got nothing to do with bag of
and
fans.
I might have to think about
So
where I'm going
again,
to go.
it's one
No,
guy
but-
who made one comment.
No,
still-
that's just bringing St George in disrepute.
Still, he's saying that they're
What
better
is?
than the fans.
Saying that.
Exactly. He's
What,
saying that
defending
they're
his
more
coach?
Yes.
Shit. What? How's that bad though?
Once again, you're loyal
You
to,
gotta,
to a club.
You
not
got to
to
remember
a
these
coach.
guys. Of course, they're going to be loyal to him. He brought them over there, right? In
Well, they can
some
go.
cases, and they're watching him get hung out, and he's going to be gone. Pardon the pun. He's going to get the hook, right?
Deservedly
So I
so.
mean, and they care about him.
Well,
You know, they're just defending him. That's all.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe defending behind closed doors. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's other ways of doing
You're,
it. than
you're
attacking
professional.
fans.
You know.
I'm not.
I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
By the way, I think it was a stupid comment to make. All I'm saying is I wouldn't read into it too much.
Yeah.
The
Look,
guy,
Well, how can-
there's-
how
they're,
can
they're
you not
people
to?
at the end. They're young men at the end of the day. Rugby league players say stupid things and do stupid things all the time.
Nicola, you know what? This young man, you know what? 1966, yes. 1975, yes. 1985, I agree. Okay. Today's day and age, okay, the minute you sign, and you know what? You always go back to Latrell and Thingy Bob. They didn't get punished enough. I agree with you.
None of those players from any of those decades you just mentioned were ever under the kind of scrutiny players are today.
Nor were they paid as well.
With social media.
Nor
and
were
all
they
that
paid
shit.
as well.
No, they had to work full-time jobs.
Nor were they paid as well.
But why does the money come into it? I
Are
don't
you
understand why
serious?
the money keeps coming
Are
into
you,
it.
are you kidding?
No,
okay,
I'm serious.
back in the day, okay, you're right. They had to work a full-time job. They'll go. They needed stress.
Yeah.
They would go to the pub. They'll do those things. But you know what? They were equal to me and you in terms of every way, except they had a skill.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Well, now they put themselves up on a pedestal. You know what I mean? What does he call it? The stadium Latrell? What does he call
Yeah,
it?
but that's because he's an idiot.
Okay.
Have you ever heard
wait a
Jack
minute.
Bird do that?
No,
Has
I-
he ever said
no, I
anything
haven't.
wrong?
No.
The guy, he's made one comment in his whole career.
And a massive comment.
Has he ever said anything else?
Look, I don't know. I don't follow him because I'm not a fan of his.
Well, we'd never talk about it. I think we'd know if he did.
Okay. All I'm saying is today's day and age, they grow up differently. Okay. They put themselves on a pedestal. They get more money. What entry level 16-year-old that gets what's the minimum wage? 180
Yeah,
grand,
but
whatever.
I just don't see how that.
Okay, I don't know anyone who makes 180 grand. Okay, this guy's getting 600 grand, whatever. Okay. The minute you accept money, it's a big thing. You're a professional.
Yeah, I get that.
You're
I
a
get that.
professional. Well, you don't go out and bag your coach or club. You know what I mean?
Well, he didn't, did he?
well,
He was
did.
defending his coach and his club, wasn't he? That's what you
Well,
just said
okay,
before.
even worse, he bagged me.
Yeah.
Specifically, he bagged me.
And we sit here and bag him every week.
Well, not every week, but yeah, when,
Right.
when you either have a
As
bad
fans,
game,
as fans.
yeah, when you have a bad game, and this has dragged too much along. When you have a bad game, I'm going to get one thing in. And we'll just do comments very quickly.
Yeah.
Midweek, I thought I was second guessing myself, guys. I thought I was really wrong, and all day, okay, I was in a daze because I heard a well-known rugby league player say this.
I don't see a problem with what he said.
I don't see a problem either. That's why I wanted to address it. Birdie, double down, baby. We got your back.
Double down on that. God, he's exactly right. Fans don't know what's going on.
Fans don't know what's going on. Well, you know what? I was a fan because he obviously paid for the Bulldogs. The guy's a
That's
dickhead.
Willie Mason, by the way.
Yeah. The guy
It's pretty
and Scope, the guy next to him. Okay,
But that sentence was cut off midway. He didn't get to finish saying what he was saying.
he got worse.
Okay.
Yeah, it got worse. Yeah,
Well, he
no,
agrees
it
with
got
me, so I'm
worse.
not saying anything.
I'm just saying.
I agree.
I'll send you the link, and it got
Yeah,
worse.
okay.
I don't have a couple of minutes to play these links.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand the whole they get paid heaps, they're professionals and all that. I just think at the end of the day, they're people, they have feelings too, and sometimes they bite back. You know, it's human nature.
And he did apologise the day.
And he did apologise the
realise,
next
which was
day,
good
and
on
all
him.
that.
He didn't have
You
to.
know,
and
you
he
know
did,
what, you
so-
want Nicola. When you bite back, you upset 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. When he bites back, he upsets hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, no, but when we get criticised by 2-3 people. He gets criticised by 500,000. It's the same thing.
Well, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Again, he can give his 10 grand back.
It's not got nothing to do with the money. I don't
It's
understand what the
professional.
money's.
You
But
are
what's the money got to do with anything?
you
My
get
job's
pa-
more
you get
important to
paid-
me than his job is.
You get paid to shut up.
no, no.
He gets paid.
No,
okay,
they're
well,
not
yes, he
they're,
does.
they're not dogs who get muzzled. They're allowed to talk. They're allowed to have
Okay.
opinions.
Okay, I'm sure every NRL
It's
player.
not- it shouldn't be-
I'm sure every NRL player, including Nico Hines, all of them have opinions. But I don't see Nico Hines come in and saying.
What do you want me to give you a list of at least 10 players in the last 12 months who've come out and said something stupid
Yes.
on live television?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I do. Next week that can be your job.
I could do it now for you if you want.
Please.
What about the dickheads on podcasts like Brandon Smith or like Selwyn Cobbo
Selwyn
or like
Cobbo's
those
a
other
dickhead.
fucking idiots who did it last year? You want me to give you? I'll give you a list of 30
Well, that-
if you want.
All of them
Ben Hunt
should get.
2 weeks ago.
I'm not sure what Ben Hunt had said, but I'm sure it wasn't good. They all should get. They all should get reprimanded. Then
What, they're not allowed to have an opinion because they're
Yeah.
professionals.
they can have opinion. Go and tell your manager. Go and tell your coach. Go and tell. I don't need to know it. I don't need to know that I'm a dickhead. That's what he said to me.
No,
I
he
got no
didn't.
idea. I got no idea.
No, he
I've got no
you see,
idea. I
you're
want to hear it again.
No, but you're taking it out of context. He was specifically referring to fans who don't understand about the
Hook's
game,
going-
right?
And what Hook's going through.
Well, he didn't. I didn't hear him say that.
Well,
he didn't say
was-
that.
Well,
He never said that. In that clip that you played, he never said that.
Yeah,
he
that
never
was-
mentioned anything about Hook. He talked about fans who didn't understand what we go through, and it sounded like he had copped some criticism from someone, and he's
probably
probably saying, "Who the fuck are you? You sit on an armchair every weekend and you criticising me. You don't know what I go through every day." That's what I heard.
He's absolutely right,
That's all I heard.
and he's right.
And I don't think he should be muzzled just because he gets paid 10 grand a week. That's my opinion.
Let's move on.
That's
Thank
right.
you for that, guys.
Jack
that was
Bird,
fun.
you're an idiot. Craig Bellamy's confirmed he's going around for another year. What does this mean for Jason Riles, the Dragons, and what's the knock-on effect?
We'll find out tomorrow.
That's the short version, yeah.
That's good that he's staying, though. I think he's 63 years old. He's still got years in him. I'm surprised he's.
I personally don't want him to retire. I love watching Bellamy.
I want him to retire because
Yeah,
we want
I-
Melbourne to sort of.
I like Bellamy. I'd like to see him go around for another 10
We want to
years.
see the attack, the aggro attacks in the box. We're going to miss that when he goes. But he's
he was going off.
63, man. And
What
Wayne Bennett
do you think, George? Like the 1 year, is that with some sort of agreement with Riles to go to Melbourne after his Roosters deal, or is that not?
No, that's made it worse because how does Rolls know he's going to go? He might go another year.
I mean,
So
I
another-
personally
another-
think if Hook does go tomorrow, I think he'll be a caretaker for the rest of the season. I can't see any club releasing an assistant halfway through the season.
No. Sorry, no. I don't want John Creese to go. He's got more in him, much more in him. I think the 1 year's going to turn into 2 years, into 3 years. I think Jason Rolls is nearly over the line. What
Yeah.
I heard on a podcast, I think Jason Rolls is nearly over the line. It
Well,
just-
the Dragons.
yeah, I think all he's waiting for is for him to make sure about the group that he's got around him. He's got a few of his friends come in, and they're all high qualified guys. There's just one or two other little bits and pieces. They've basically agreed on money. He'll probably be the highest paid coach in the game, I'd say. If
For a rookie, that's pretty.
If Karianis is right, they'll have to do something, St George.
Yeah, but with Jason Riles, it's also important to consider he hasn't been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like he's, you know what I mean? It's been
Well,
a long time since he's been a Dragon.
He's the next cab off the rank in a way in terms of
He's got the same kind of raps Fitzgibbon had.
Fitzgibbon,
Yeah.
and did they play together?
I don't. Oh,
They
they
were in
might
the
have.
99. No,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe okay.
Maybe,
I just wondering how much they know each other. But you know what? You got to be very careful because we all thought that Mr. Popular was going to completely change Canterbury and use the same weight. I've seen
George,
nothing.
he's 2 months into his job.
I've seen nothing.
Well,
He's almost 3 months into his job. Give him time.
Yeah, but I've seen nothing yet.
Well, Webster's changed things. Fitzy's changed things.
Webster, yes, Fitzy's changed things. He had a year to change things, like Ros will have now.
Yeah.
Okay, before he got the job, and Webster's obviously won the. Well, someone asked me today, did Canterbury get the wrong coach? And I said yes. The wrong Penrith coach, and I said yes.
Well, they've got the worst injury toll in the comp.
Exactly. I'd wait
And
till you get your
Is
full
it the
strength.
worst injury time?
It is pretty
It's
bad.
one of,
It's
if
one
not,
off.
and
One off.
he's not even 3 months into his job yet, in terms of the competition. So
Okay,
let's be a little bit patient.
Let's see if I'm wrong. But I've seen nothing. I already saw something training, but
In my opinion,
I hope I'm right.
I've always said,
I'm broken hearted.
In my
That's
opinion,
why.
I've always said it takes 3 years to build a team. That's for footy or soccer.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. But
They beat the Storm early in the year, didn't they? And that's when they had
yeah, but
a
the
lot
Storm
of their
had
players.
a lot of players out that night too.
Yeah, but I think Canterbury had nearly full. They had a lot of players in then, so
Yeah.
at full strength, they're not a bad outfit.
That's true.
mate.
Let's see
give
what
them
happens.
time.
Let's
Yeah.
just give them time. Don't expect miracles this year. Let's just give them time.
Well, there's always next year, and then more
Yeah.
more recruits are coming next year. But we're off the topic. The question was,
Craig Bellamy.
yeah, look, it's good that he's staying, and I think that's going to have a chain reaction for other things to happen.
Yeah.
Has Turbo blown his motor?
Marty?
Turbo.
Yeah, Trebojevic.
Um,
Another very quiet performance, and I cannot see how he can be picked in the Blues next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
This Sunday.
It'll
Yes,
be
Sunday.
interesting, but if he gets picked for the Blues, it'll be in centre. It won't be fullback, so he won't have to do as much long distance running, with that speed.
He was outrun by a second row.
Yeah, I
on the
know, but
weekend.
he'll be playing. It's a different position, so I think if he stays fit, Fittler will pick him.
See, that
because of-
irks me because that means Campbell Graham or Stephen Crichton will miss out.
I can guarantee you, if he's not fit or playing if he doesn't come out on the weekend and just knocks everybody's socks off, he won't get picked. And I'll tell you why. Okay, because Fiddler likes his job, and Fiddler
He needs
doesn't-
to win this
if
series.
he doesn't win, he doesn't get another contract.
Yeah,
we
that's
know
right.
we know how it works.
Yeah.
So watch his space, and you watch every proper selection being made
He'll pick him.
this year.
He'll
Yeah.
pick him.
He'll
It'll
pick.
be interesting.
He'll
It'll be
pick
interesting.
Turbo in the centres.
He'll pick him in the centre.
He'll
It'll be
pick him in the
interesting.
centres.
Yes,
Have you seen him play?
doesn't matter.
He doesn't run.
What
It's
about
it's not fullback though. He's going to be playing in the centres.
what about
He's
number
gonna be
9,
running
boys?
top.
He doesn't break. He doesn't put pressure on the line.
No, he was outrun by a second row.
He doesn't go
on the
through.
weekend.
He doesn't.
But
when
maybe in the Blues system, that
no,
might
I
ignite
agree.
him to.
I agree. Put him in the squad.
Yeah.
Put him in the 20 squad. You have him there and have a look at him. But if Campbell Graham can't get a run on, I'll be
shocked.
If it was a Queenslander, would Queenslanders pick him? Absolutely.
I'll be shocked if Campbell Graham
if
doesn't get selected.
if he was a Queenslander,
They'd
he'll,
pick him.
he'll he'll ring up and say, "I'm not ready." If he was a Queenslander,
That's true. Personally, if I was, I reckon he should sit out this whole Origin series and concentrate on his fitness for Manly because he needs
What
to
about,
give Manly some back. I agree with you. He should do that. But as a selector, they'll pick him. They'll just pick him.
What
I
about
know
Jack
that.
Bird? Is he a chance of getting picked at centre?
he's a Queenslander, isn't he?
Is he? I don't know.
I think he's a Queenslander.
No?
He's a
What
Wollongong
about the
boy.
dummy
Oh, the
half,
Wollongong boy.
boys? What about the dummy half? Appy Coruscant or Damien
I
Cook?
got my opinion.
I have to go Cook.
Cook? Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
absolutely.
Why?
Form hooker of the competition so far this year. Mind you, Appy will do the job if he gets put in there. No doubt about it. But Cook's been awesome. Souths have been awesome for 6 weeks in a row.
He's been good, but Appy's got Cleary and Luai. They've got a combination going.
That combination doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but Fittler will stick with it. He'll, I know he will. He just will.
And
it's
Appy's
a safe thing.
Yeah, Oh, look, I don't
agree.
think we can go wrong with either one. To be honest,
yeah, you're right.
I would lean on Hook, Cook.
Yeah.
Hook.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you put Cook in Tigers and Appy in South, Appy will look like a star as well.
Yeah,
it's
but-
the
yeah,
team that he's
maybe.
playing. Appy's
Yeah,
playing.
I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
You can't go wrong with either one of them.
Yeah.
Believe me, trust me. Both of them are by far the best two hookers, but completely two different styles. So I'm going to tell you, and I could be wrong, Fiddler's going to go safety. So Cookie needs a fast play of the ball. He needs the forwards
Gee, he's been
to
good,
cave.
though.
Yeah,
He's been good.
well, he's doing it for Souths because
Yeah.
they're getting fast play of the balls, and the forwards are caving in their other forwards. In Origin, in the first one, you might not get that. Okay, so Cookie again needs the markers down and the drain collapsed. Okay, for him to shoot. Okay, he doesn't ball play. And he doesn't put on forward, so he's going to pick.
Appy's a bit more of a complete, well-rounded player, isn't he?
He's going to pick Appy because Appy's going to work the rucks, and he's going to put Payne Huss on outside shoulders, or he'll take off and prop and play in the line. Cookie goes. Either way, for Souths, perfect. Okay, perfect. I'm not sure in Origin. You can't have two of them. You can't have both of them, one on the bench. I think for safety, he might go Appy, and then if he sees something, he might. He's not going to in this campaign. He'll change.
Yeah. Be
Fiddler
interesting
will
to see.
change
I don't
things.
think you can go wrong with either one, but it'll be interesting to
Yeah,
see.
no, you can't. Hey, both of them. Both of them outstanding.
both
I don't care either
I mean,
one.
personally, I mean, I'd be looking at Brendan Hands, but anyway, that's just.
Hey,
no, I'm
nothing
joking.
wrong with Handsy.
I'm joking.
Nothing wrong with Handsy.
Next point, I want to touch on the Parramatta Canberra game.
Please.
For a couple of reasons that have nothing to do with the players. I want to touch on both coaches.
Go for it.
So Brad Arthur, for the first time in his career that I can remember, in his press conference, slammed the refereeing and said the refereeing was terrible, blah, blah, blah. 10-3 penalty count. For me, I think it was a 67 or 68% completion rate. I'd be looking at that before I look at the penalties because they were just turning the ball over stupidly and all that. So I think he was a little bit out of line to do that. I think he might have been frustrated maybe with something else. I don't know. But I just thought it was out of line.
That to me is a sign of pressure. A coach
Yeah.
under pressure.
Yeah.
Once they start blaming refs and that, it's,
There were so many
something's
mistakes made
happening
by
there.
the team in the second half. Ricky Stewart, on the other hand, he's just Ricky Stewart. Jesus Christ.
Great view.
You know what? Your team won a good game of footy. Take it and run with it. No. He's got to come out and whinge. And everyone calls me a whinger because you're a fucking whinger. That's why. He whinges about everything. Like I said before, he's the only person alive who didn't see Corey Horsburgh throw a punch. So in his press conference, he couldn't believe that Horsburgh got sin binned.
Because of a shit punch, that's
Because
why.
for pushing someone, when Latrell Mitchell pushed someone twice last week and he didn't get sin binned. It wasn't a push, it was a punch. And if you want to take it out on someone, take it out on Ginger Meggs. Because that imbecile,
You know, Marty.
it's from 2 weeks, it's from 2 years ago when he had a spat with Ryan Madison.
Oh, is that what it
and
was?
you might remember Corey Horsburgh cried like a little schoolgirl.
Oh, yes, I do
and
remember.
he walked off and stuck his finger up at the crowd.
Yes,
you want
yes,
to talk
yes.
about professionalism?
Yeah.
He
I
walked
like
off
that.
and stuck
I
his
like
finger
that.
up at the crowd,
That's
right?
a bit different. I like
so
that.
he had 2
I like
years.
that.
He had 2 years to prepare for his revenge punch, and what did he hit?
He missed.
Fucking air.
He
He missed. So if I was Ginger Meggs, I wouldn't be throwing punches anytime soon.
Oh, I love it.
But according to Ricky Stewart, he didn't throw a punch. I also want to call out Toots,
Yes, please.
young croker.
Yes, please. Go for it. Do it.
He seemed far away from getting back into the team after some long-term injuries. He's clawed his way back in.
Yeah.
He's playing well. He's worth 10 points a game just with his boot.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how many it is. I think it's 3, 4, 5 games away from 300,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I asked.
which will be a record for the Raiders
Oh, is that
in
really?
a green jumper.
Really?
Yeah.
I asked
Yeah.
Nicola to mention something for Croker because I think what he's done is nearly remarkable. He was in reserve grade and he got told that if you don't show us anything, we're not going to grade you, put you back into first grade. Not only he showed something, but he's one of the best backs, best backs in the team. And as Nicola said, it's 10 points off his foot every game.
Mate, the way he's kicking, I'd hate to be his dog.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know what? You're going to get your 300, and we thought you weren't going to get your 300. And I hope it's in Sydney because I will go. I will ring up Con and Adi and Nick, at least Nicola, because Adi might not come. And I'm gonna cheer for you because you've given us 300 games of pleasure, my friend.
And he's never put a foot wrong.
Never.
Yeah.
As we
Great
kept on saying,
ambassador for the game, yeah.
well, as we kept on saying, they're real professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I don't know how much he gets paid either. But he's an interesting
850.
stat. He's an interesting stat for you guys, right? Not to mention again, Brad Arthur started Andrew Davey and Josh Hodgson.
can't get that.
Davey gave away the first penalty of the game. Hodgson, first 3 tackles of the game, he wasn't at dummy half. Where is he? He's the hooker.
Wow.
Anyway, but that's not the stat. Here's an interesting stat of combined minutes that these two players have been on the field this season, right? So Josh Hodgson, for all his combined minutes on the field so far this season, the team is at minus 27 points. We're talking differential now,
Wow.
right? Minus 27 points.
27.
For Brendan Hans, his total time on the field this season, they're at plus 67 points.
Wow.
What does that tell you?
Damning.
Yeah, but if Hodgson's played just say 350 minutes and Hans has played 87 minutes, and he comes on when all the troops are tired and Hodgson started from fresh, you
Yeah.
can understand why it would be a big difference.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Hodgson missed more tackles than the other team.
But how many?
The other
how
team
many-
combined for the match.
I think
How
that's
many minutes did he play?
percentages. But Adi, I think
Well, he's
that's
playing about an
percentages.
hour, but
He's
but
playing
he's
the long
but he's
minutes.
costing tries.
Yeah.
He's just not the same player.
He's not. That's
right? And that's the bottom line. I don't want to knock him, but
He should be 50-50.
he should be coming off the
Yeah,
bench.
it should be 50-50.
You know?
start
Should be, yeah.
start Brandon and then put
It's amazing, isn't
put
it?
Hodges on. He can.
Hands
play.
came on and they scored 30 seconds later from a quick dummy half pass on
Is that
Saturday
what it
night.
was? Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, look, it's obvious.
He's had a
It's-
lot of bad injuries, but still, yeah, 30, how old, 34?
he's 34 and he's had 3 knee recos.
I don't
a three.
understand why they got rid of Fred.
Oh, it was a brilliant business decision
That is
there.
the
Yeah.
most bizarre.
Yeah.
Can I just mention something there? They've got a retention committee, Parramatta, and you know what? In general, I think they get it right. But last year, I don't know.
They lost 6 good players.
Yeah,
I don't think they got it right last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what came into them. Okay, 6, you're always going to lose 3, but Marnie,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah, I know. Papali, Nikore, Kafusi,
Kafusi,
Stone.
Surely,
He's doing good at the Dolphins.
surely you could have enough money to keep Kafusi and
Oh, well, they had to make room for Hodgson, the 34-year-old with 3 knee recos.
They bought Hopgood. He was good.
That's a good buy,
Who else
yeah.
have they bought?
That's a
Who else
cheapie,
they
but
bring
he's
in?
a cheapie.
Yeah. They just extended him, actually.
Good. He
That-
deserves to get
Who
extended,
else did
actually.
they... Oh, no, they
Greek.
re-signed a couple of
They
youngsters.
bring in that Greek.
Obviously, they re-signed Moses. No, Greg's been there for 3 years.
Been there
So,
3 years.
so they've got money in the kitty.
They've
for,
still got 2
good.
spaces in the squad.
Good. So they're waiting for someone to come off.
So why they bring in Andrew Davey and
Yep.
start him when he's made 2 appearances for Canterbury this year? And by the way, a club who's in the middle of an injury crisis, specifically in the forwards,
That's
let him go
That's mind-boggling.
after 2 appearances off the bench, comes in 2 weeks in a row, he starts.
Is that because Moses and Brown and Gutherson are on big coin?
No.
And they've got to
Not really.
shave
Look,
the cap?
Moses' deal hasn't even been signed yet. And when it is, he's the club's first $1 million player in history.
Yeah.
So, no. Because almost every club's got a player over $1 million bucks now.
Or 2 now.
Yeah.
Or 2.
And you got Madison. He's on big coin, isn't he? I think he's re-signing on big.
I don't know. It wasn't that extravagant. I mean, they let money go for $100,000.
Oh man, he wanted
You know what I
600K only.
Yeah, I know.
He's on what, 650?
650.
So
That's bizarre.
That's
yeah,
bizarre.
but also, I mean, I was going to say are the Roosters officially in crisis, but we touched on that a bit earlier.
Yeah, that
Yes,
is it, mate.
they are, and it's not.
Scary.
It's not play. It's character. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going to say, and let's see what happens.
I think you're right.
But as Adi says every week, in Robbo we trust.
It's done.
So
I don't know.
the-
He's going to run out of troops.
Yeah.
That's his problem at the moment.
The last point that I want to make is I put some stuff together here. George called out the refereeing over the weekend.
Atrocious.
So I did a little bit of homework, and I've called out just the refereeing decisions that we know were confirmed to be incorrect.
Sure.
and what impact they had on the game. So starting on Thursday night, we had Reece Walsh not penalised for an obvious shoulder charge. He was charged by the match review committee. He'll get away with a fine because he's got a good record. So that clearly shows he should have been penalised on the field.
Phil Gould said a good point about that one because
What did he say?
Holland was going in with the shoulder as well.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, it was both shoulder.
Yeah. Well, he was charged.
Yeah,
he was
so
charged.
yeah.
In the very same match, Patrick Carrigan
Yes, that was terrible.
sin-binned for a hip drop tackle. The Storm scored 8 points while he was off the field, and they won the game by 8 points.
It's crazy.
Both coaches, including Bellamy, who was the opposing coach, said it shouldn't have been a sin bin. That tells you something when both coaches agree, right? And he was not charged by the match review committee, so they've been proven right.
So what's a hip drop?
Saturday, Dragons youngster Jaden Sullivan was sin bin for slowing down the ruck, and the replays clearly showed that Cole Felt was holding on to him.
He was underneath.
Yep.
Did he get 10 for that?
He got 10 in the bin, and the Cowboys scored 3 times during that sin bin and basically ran away with the game.
And Drinkwater did a professional foul shortly afterwards and got 10 minutes
Yeah.
for a professional foul. But anyway.
But and then the last one on Saturday night, the Eels winger Bailey Simonson, he got penalised for a hip drop tackle on Rapana. And the Raiders scored from that penalty, and they ended up winning the game by 8 points. Just thought I'd throw it in. Jacob Arthur gave away the penalty to give him the extra 2, but anyway. He was not charged by the match review committee either.
Yeah.
So some howlers there that really did, to some degree, have an impact on the game.
A few years ago, the referees hardly gave away sin bins, and now they're giving them away like
Every week. Every
they're
game.
just throwing them away, like sin bin. They're quick to do it, and it's frustrating, isn't it?
It is, but
you've got
that's
to be 100% sure. Like
those points are ones that have been basically admitted by the NRL.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put them together just to show you how many there were.
What a big disconnect there is, though, between the MRC and the referees.
Yeah,
For the MRC to say, no, it's nothing, and them to say it's a sin bin, something clearly wrong there, and they're officiating our game.
I think no one's clear on the... I hate it when they say this, the interpretation of... the rule's the rule. It shouldn't be interpreted. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Should be black and white.
Once upon a time, I thought sin bins, penalties... you know what, you get some this week, you lose some next week, and at the end of the year, it all washes out.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. The comp is so even. Sin bin, we just heard it. Sullivan's off. North Queensland scores 3 tries. Game gone. Every little decision affects the game. The bunker's got 7 cameras. You wouldn't know it. The bunker's got 7 cameras. We find out
12 camera angles.
I'm sorry, Bunker. 12.
12
You got 12 cameras.
That's what Graham Annesley said today.
Yeah, and they still get things wrong, which is mind-boggling. And of course, what I said earlier, the referees, they're just not keeping up to the game. They've got to get better. They've got to get better. Now, I don't know if they're fully professionals. I thought they were, but if they're not, get them fully professional because the players are just running.
They need to be calibrated.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be put in a room, go through all of these rulings and calibrate it so that everyone understands, has the same view on it.
I still like the soccer answer to it, but the television on the sideline. No, the television on the sideline where the referee goes and looks at it. Anyway,
with the hip drops though, they're quickly giving sin bins, right? If the hip drop, if the guy's done the tackle right, and the player then gets up and plays the ball, why go back and look at it? And the guy's okay. Whereas if they do a tackle right, and the guy's lying on the ground, and then later on they see replays, and the guy's on the ground and he's then stretched because of a hip drop, then 10 minutes, it's obvious.
I think again it was our old mate Gus Gould who called out players lying down.
Yeah, well, if they lie down, take them off. If you're going to lie down, mandatory, off for 5 minutes.
Take them off. Take them off.
That's easy.
I agree.
They can sort it out.
Artie, you got some power rankings for us?
Mate, if I told you guys at the start, before a ball was kicked, all right, 2 teams that are going to drop out of the top 8 are the Eels and the Roosters, and they're going to be replaced by the Warriors and the Dolphins, you would have sent me to a mention. You would have got me checked.
I'll say it now. The Eels, they won't make the 8.
How bizarre is that?
They won't make the 8.
That is unbelievable. Well, I did my power rankings for the week. Let me know if you guys agree.
Tell
Yeah.
me about it. Tell me about it, Nick.
So, at number one, I've got the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rabbitohs.
hard to
Yeah.
argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two, I've got the Panthers.
Yeah.
They're back.
Yeah.
Now, I went the Broncos third,
Yeah, you're right.
just ahead of the Storm.
Yeah,
so
I'm
my
with you.
top four is those four, and I think they're probably going to stay.
I'm with
to be
you, yeah.
honest.
Probably
Yeah.
right. You're probably right
You're
too.
right there.
You're probably right. They're going to stay.
Fifth, I've put the Raiders. 5 wins in a row is pretty hard to do these days.
Good wins
in this
too.
comp, and they're good
Yeah.
wins. So I've put the Raiders up at fifth. Sharks at sixth. They're plugging along there.
Yeah.
It was tough between the Warriors and the Sharks actually, but I'll put the Warriors at seventh, and the Dolphins finished off at eighth. No Parramatta, no Roosters.
Yeah, I agree
is
with that.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
I agree with
At the start of the
that.
year, you would not.
Para won't make the 8 this year.
Freaky.
I'll call it now. They haven't had a bye yet,
Yeah.
right? I think they're the only team that hasn't
Mm.
so far, but I don't think they'll make the 8.
How about the Cowboys? You think the Cowboys will make the 8?
Well,
No.
I think they might. It only takes a few wins. If they get a few in a row, and I think they've got a pretty good draw coming up.
The Warriors, the Titans, and the Roosters are all on 12 points. Am I right, Artie?
that's right.
So they're all. It's just for and against. They're not in the 8. So it's still very tight.
The Warriors are playing good football, mate. I can't
I
see
thought the
them.
Warriors are playing good football
Yeah.
until the Eels, which have got 8 points, which they're still in the hunt. They're still.
Well, like I
still in
said,
the
they
hunt.
still haven't had a bye yet.
so that's 10.
There's 3 buys up their sleeve.
That's
Has the Warriors had a bye?
yeah. I think they've had a bye.
No, they haven't.
haven't they?
0.
They got a bye this week.
Oh, so they got it this week.
Yeah.
There you go. Just before I go, mate, I just want to give you guys an update on the Daily M 2023. At the moment, we've still got Payne Haas leading
Absolutely.
the
Wow.
ladder on 30
That's
points.
after missing a week through suspension too.
Exactly. What's the story with that? If you get suspended, does that mean you
I thought that knocked you out. Have they changed that rule?
They've changed the rule.
Those change.
Did he get
Which is good.
suspended or sin bin? Did he got suspended?
No, he got suspended.
Okay, yeah, they changed the rule 2 years ago.
Good.
Which they shouldn't have. You think they should?
No, I thought it was a dumb
Best
rule.
and
You
fairest.
play good all year, you
I
get
agree,
suspended for
yeah,
something,
I
and
agree.
you're not, you know.
Give it to the front row.
And what's the nature of the suspension? Is it a dumb hip drop?
Probably?
You know what I
No,
mean?
you're right.
Contentious.
You got me, Nicola. How far is the second?
Well, second spot is Harry Grant on 25.
yeah.
Then we've got Reece Walsh, which he's been playing good footy.
Yeah, very
Both
good.
from the Broncos. So we've got 2 out of 3 in the top
Yeah.
3 from the Broncos. Latrell Mitchell on 23. Nico Hines on 23. Sean Johnson, well deserved on 22.
Good on him. Good on Sean.
And Cody Walker on 21. So it's good to see
I'm-
Cody Walker up
I'm
there.
surprised for 2 things that Latrell is that high and that he's
Yes.
above Cody. To be honest,
2 points above, yeah.
where's Nathan Cleary? Anywhere in
Nathan
there?
Cleary's equal with Walker. He's on
Yep.
21 points. And Dylan Edwards on 20. And Ben Hunt rounds it out with 19 points.
Cool.
You know what? Wouldn't it be good for a front row to win the Dally?
It'd be great. When
That's
was the
the one.
last time?
He's looking
Yeah,
a
wow.
sure thing at the
Lazar.
moment.
I can't believe it. But you know what? It's about right.
Did you hear what Gould's comments were
What?
on 100% footy?
What did he
He
say?
said if Payne Haas continues, he's going to be the greatest of all time front rower. He goes, I don't think we'll ever get to see a
Well,
person-
he's only
a
22.
player like this before. He called it. He said, greatest of all time front rower, Payne
Well,
Haas.
again,
If he continues.
yeah, he's 22, and the front rower peaks in his mid to late 20s. If he doesn't get injured, and he is, but if he doesn't get injured, and he continues to do what he's doing now, he's going to obviously improve and add to his game. It's pretty scary. Can I say that John Creese was brilliant last weekend because the Storm actually stopped him.
John Creese is Craig Bellamy, by the
Yeah,
way.
Craig Bellamy is brilliant. Their plan was brilliant. They stopped Payne Haas as much as you can stop Payne Haas, which I couldn't believe. I thought back into the game they're going to fatigue, and he's going to get his meters. He did it. Don't get me wrong; he was going forward, but
Yeah.
not the 15 meters he does on every run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
10 and
He's
5
a special
posts.
player.
Yeah, so but every team can't contain him like John Creese can. When I watch the Broncos, I watch Payne Haas.
Yeah.
So I love the guy. I love the guy.
So, well, thanks for that, Artie.
That's it, mate.
Let's move into our crystal ball and look at the week that's coming.
Sure.
Great game to kick it off on Thursday night. Broncos Panthers in Brisbane.
Sorry, mate. I'm just going back to the draw.
This
Who
is
was
a
it?
tough one to tip.
Broncos and
Panthers. Now we don't know if Adam Reynolds is playing or not. We'd have to assume he's not,
yeah.
right? Probably lean on the Panthers, I think.
I'm going Panthers too, mate. It's going to be a good game, actually. If
Yeah.
Reynolds plays, it'll be a cracker game.
Yeah, I don't think he would though.
Who will take his place? Who's their backup half?
I don't know.
Used to be Gamble, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ezra Mam. Who else? Yeah, they're going to struggle without Reynolds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going Panthers, man.
George?
Yeah, look, it's in Brisbane, but Reynolds won't play. I'm very confident he won't play. We've unleashed the Panther last week. It's going to be a good game. The Panthers will win.
Is this the last round before they pick the Origin
Yeah.
team?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they're
Sunday
picking
night. I think
Next
yeah.
week's a split round.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Next week's a split, the
Yeah.
first split.
Oh, okay.
So they pick it this week,
Mhm.
split Origin.
Okay.
Now, Arthur, I'm going to apologise to you in advance.
Yeah.
You guys are playing the Roosters, and if the Roosters are ever going to bounce back from a embarrassment,
Yeah.
you think this week will be it. Having said that, if Hook does get hooked,
Yeah.
no pun intended, teams usually win their first game with a new coach. Can you do it? Can you capitalise on the Roosters' form?
Well,
Joey Manu's out as well.
Joey Manu's out. That's a huge out, and Walker's injured, so
Yeah.
he can't even come into
Yeah,
the squad.
that's right.
So that means Hutchison will play.
And Suali's not
halves.
playing well. Like, none of
Suaali's
these
not
guys are
playing
really
well.
stepping up.
Hargraves is out too. He's got the pec issue,
Yeah.
so he's a big loss. Yeah, St George have got a good chance. Wouldn't it be great if as soon as Hook leaves, they win 50-0 or something?
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love
It'd
it.
be
Artie.
nice, but I'm going to tip the Roosters.
I'm definitely tipping the
Yeah.
Roosters. If they didn't lose
I
last
just,
week,
yeah, that's the thing.
48-4.
That the way they lost,
Yeah.
40 points, 44 points they lost by. That's what I think. That's why I'm going to lean on them. What about you, George?
Yeah.
You know what? I got this gut feeling they won't sack Hook because they haven't got the balls to sack Hook, or they'll leave him in until the end of the year. And he's lost the dressing room. Obviously, he's obviously lost the dressing room. Roosters will win and win well. Unfortunately, sorry, Artie. We'll just-
Now,
Yeah, Roosters will win.
the second game on Friday night.
It's always my favourite game of the year.
Which one? The Roosters? What?
When Saints play Roosters, I love
Yeah.
it. It's always good.
Following on, the Eels continue their consistent draw. They've got the Rabbitohs in Indigenous round, which is the 1 week where you don't want to play South. And that's a South home game. I can't not tip South in this game.
Artie.
I think Junior Paulo's out, Sean Lane's out.
Yeah, Sean Lane. Long term too, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is
at
it
least a
long-term?
month. At least a month.
Is,
Hodgson's playing, so based on that, I have to tip South.
Is Moses back at least?
He's back, yeah.
Oh, good. At least Moses is back. At least there'll be.
And I
control.
think South came through, or apart from Burgess who got injured in the warm up and young Cartwright, I think they came through unscathed from their game.
I think Souths, mate. They're
Yeah.
playing too good a team, and Parramatta aren't playing that good enough to knock them out.
Yeah,
Nicole, that's the Indigenous round. The family's going to be in the grandstands.
Yeah,
There'll be proud Aboriginal elders before the game.
we'll have to listen to a 22-minute ceremony
Sure
before
will.
kickoff.
South Sydney will be full of emotion. Parramatta will turn up to play. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah.
But I think by the end of the game, I think all the emotion will bubble over. Latrell will have a good game. Everybody will follow him. And I don't think it'll be embarrassing, but I think Rabbits will win.
I think they've won like 8 or 9 out of their last 10 against the Eels.
Parramatta.
South, yeah.
Really?
Souths.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've,
really?
yeah,
Got
yeah.
the wood. Even at Parramatta.
I think so, yeah.
It's at Allianz.
I could be wrong, but I think so. Put it this way, I don't remember beating them. Anyway,
Tell you what, if I wasn't watching Queen that night, I'll go to Allianz and watch it.
kicking off Saturday, this would be an interesting one. The Sharks hosting the Knights.
Fantastic.
I'm going to tip Shark.
That's a good game.
That's the prison.
Yeah, it's in Cronulla.
It's
Actually,
Cox Harbour.
I think it's in Coffs Harbour, yeah. I'm going to tip the Shark.
I'm going to go the upset. I'm going to go the Knights.
Yep.
I just like the way they play.
I'm a fan.
I like their back line. I just love it. It's so good.
Nicola Coffs Harbour. That's closer to Newcastle than the prison, isn't it?
It's closer to Queensland, yeah.
So it's closer to Newcastle. By then, well and truly, the suntan lotion will be dried, and the ink on their arms will be dry. You know what? I'm going Vardy. I'm going the Knights.
You've got the three sledges. You've got Gamble, Politano and Hastings. That's going to be a
Yeah.
sledge fest.
We'll dub this the sledge-a-thon. The famous
Hines-
sledge-a-thon.
Love to go.
Hines
Just the-
playing for a blue jersey.
Oh, he's playing for
Yeah.
a blue jersey.
But then
Oh,
Ponga's
figure
playing
that.
for a maroon jersey too.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Shark though.
Yeah, I must
That's
watch
gonna be
that.
a
I must
cracker
watch
game.
game. This one. I must watch.
5:30 game. The West Tigers are hosting the Cowboys at Leichhardt Oval.
They've been playing okay, the Tigers, but I think the Cowboys are back. They got
I'm going Cowboy.
You go Cowboy.
Yeah.
If they've got anything, if they're going to show us anything, if they want to do anything in the competition, Cowboys must win.
Do you reckon the Cowboys boys are lifting now because it's Origin? They want to get picked, so that's why
Maybe,
they've lifted
maybe.
it. Notch?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've got to get Cows.
Saturday night, Dolphins hosting the Storm up in Queensland.
That's going to be interesting.
It is. Storm for me.
Bit of a reunion there for some of the players.
I think so.
A lot of players. This is they're playing for an Origin jersey, so I think those teams that are affected by that, I think they'll step up. Storm have got a few of those players.
Yeah, Storm for me.
I think this is going to mark the start of the demise of the Dolphins. I think Storm will win and win very well, and I think mark this date. I think this is where they drop out of the
The turning point, yeah.
I think so. It's time. It's time.
Kicking off Sunday afternoon, the Bulldogs hosting the Gold Coast Titans.
Good game.
That's what I call. Artie?
Interesting game. Titans, Bulldogs. I'm going to go Bulldogs because it's in equal, but I wouldn't be surprised if Titans. It'll be a tight one.
I think they're due for a win. I'm going Bulldog.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think they're
Bulldogs,
due.
yeah.
And I think it's a winnable game for them.
Yeah, look, it's in Sydney. The Titans unfortunately have to travel, and they hate travelling. But in saying that, the Titans can score lots of points, and the Bulldogs can't tie their shoelaces at the moment. The Titans will win, and I think by the end of the game, the Titans might blow it out. I really believe that.
And closing out the round, the Raiders at home again in the ACT. They're hosting the Manly Seagulls.
Raiders for me.
Yeah,
Raiders are playing really good football.
I'm going Raider.
Manly, I don't know, man. They're a bit clunky.
Alarm bells. Alarm bells are ringing for Manly Nicola. It's in Canberra. It's at GI Stadium. A
Raider
nice,
for me, yeah.
nice crispy cold Sunday afternoon. Seagulls got to jump into Manoli's Uber cab, and the new trailer he's got on for the rest of the team, and they'll be driving down. By the time they get down there, Nicola, they'll all have catch a chest cold from the wind, and Canberra unfortunately will romp up a big score because the Seagulls just there's
And
trouble
then-
in paradise.
And then this time next week, we'll be talking about the Origin teams, right?
Can't wait.
Is Jack Whiten a chance of making Origin? New South
He
Wales?
should be in the squad. If he's
You
not,
think?
I'll be very disappointed.
He'll be
Yeah.
lifted. He'll be playing
Well,
for
no,
a jumper.
no, wait a second. He retired from rep footy.
Oh, he did too. Oh, no, next year.
Was it next year? I
Next
thought it was
year's
now.
well, then if he's retired, he's retired.
I
Then
thought he retired now.
Okay, okay,
wow.
okay. Then
Oh.
if he hasn't retired, he should be.
I
in-
thought it was
I'm
for
pretty
next
su-
year.
Me
That's why he
too.
signed for South.
Okay, I could be wrong. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no. He's probably retired. You're probably
could
right,
be wrong.
Nicola.
He might be, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Warriors get the 2 point because they're on the bye.
Georgie, you got some tidbits for us?
I have got some tidbits. As we know, we're following the plight of the world champions, St Helens, and thank God at last they got a victory, Nicola.
Yeah.
They beat the Salford team 26-12.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to go through all the scores because I know we're running late on time, but I will say that the Pods team, the Lee Leopards,
Yep.
they keep on impressing, Nicola. They beat Huntersfield 30-4.
It's the jerseys.
It must be the jerseys because it's surprising. I listen to the English podcast as well, one on BBC, and the league in England can't believe that they're going so well for a bunch of. They basically didn't change the team from Division 1. The table, Nicola, Warrington's coming first with 20 points. Wigan, which I think is the best team in the comp, 16. Hull KR has got 16 as well. Catalans has got 16.
Wigan got flogged last week, eh?
They got flogged last week.
And they were leading 14-0 and ended up getting run down. And
Wigan lost against
to-
Leeds 40-18.
and
yeah.
they were leading 14-0.
I saw
Wow.
I saw the first half and I thought it was going to be a tight affair, but for some unknown reason, Leeds came out, and Wigan is a far better team for me than Leeds. But anyway, let's see what happens. Our team, Nicola, on 14, Lee Leopards, and rounding out the semi-final race is Salford on 14, mate. So we're doing well. We might be watching semi-finals
Good stuff.
for our team. And St Helens just outside the top 6, mate. I'm not going to even mention it until they actually make the 6. There's been some European qualifiers, Nicola. Serbia played Greece. Greece the favourites, but unfortunately on the day they met determined and very powerful Serbian team. And we scored first, actually, and there was Banagiri in the middle of Athens. But
So they scored first.
yeah, we scored
That was the
first.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a
Greeks.
sudden, Serbia turned it on, mate, and scored 40 unanswered points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so the problem is that the first 2 teams go through every group go through to the World Cup, and with a 40-6 loss, we're probably down the bottom. Let's see how we go next game, but they might have to call some of the Australian boys to come in the off season, and of course our favourite youngster of the pod, Nicola. Of course,
Young Maxi?
Young Maxi, but of course playing for the Rouse Hill. They played the Hills Bulls, and they got a victory 24-8.
Oh,
Now,
well done.
yeah, very good. That's the second victory. And I saw some more footage. Our friend Choki sent us some footage.
He scored some tries.
And he didn't score tries, but what I do notice, because he played fullback, is he's very aware of space. Every time I see him, he's giving his halves options. He actually put one of the tries. He put his winger away. He chimed in and put his winger away, but he's always running into space. And the other thing I saw, which our friend Choki, of course, is not a rugby league man.
Yeah.
He was standing right behind in the drain, right behind the ruck. And I was talking to him on the phone. He said, I can't understand why he's doing that. I go, don't you understand? He goes, he's looking for someone to turn and pop. He's got so much speed. He's very quick, very quick. He took off. He didn't get the ball. The front row didn't pop. But he kept on doing that. And
Good instinct.
Ian's trying to work out why he's trying to do that.
Good instinct.
He's just one of those kids.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing.
Support player.
So in the next fortnight, I'm going to go out and
Let me know when you do, because I'll come
I will
out.
actually,
Yeah.
and we'll catch up with Choki.
Yeah.
And we'll post we'll vlog it and we'll post it on the YouTube channel. But look, all goes well for our Rouse Hill guy, Nicola.
Good stuff.
And that's my tidbits.
Good stuff. What are we looking forward to this week?
You know what I'm looking forward to tomorrow, mate.
What you're looking forward to?
There's actually a big meeting tomorrow, and fans are invited for the St George board. Yeah.
Apparently, the announcement's going to be made tomorrow that he's gone.
During the day, and then
Yeah.
at night there's a questions for the fans, or where they're going to make announcements and stuff to the fans.
What about you, George?
I don't think he will be sacked tomorrow.
We'll see, man.
I don't think he will be sacked
We'll
tomorrow
see.
because I don't think St George will got balls enough to make that decision.
What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the Newcastle game.
Yes.
And why I say that, it's going to be lots of fun.
Sledging.
Yeah.
Lots of sledging, lots of fun. And can I be honest? I want this round to come and to go because the good stuff's coming.
Yeah, I gotcha.
We've been thinking about it. We've been talking about it. I want to see the team get picked. And I can't wait.
I'm looking forward
I love
to
Origin.
the first game. It was the Broncos-Panthers. I hope Reynolds is fit to play because that would just
Yeah.
make it really good.
Actually,
Um,
on that, we're gonna some storylines will be answered because we'll see if the sleeping giant
yeah,
is awakened,
yeah.
and we'll see if the Broncos can actually, because they played a hard game last week, if they can back it up and they're genuine, the
Yeah.
real deal. So that's a good one, Nicola.
Yeah.
I was looking more for fun, but that's going to be fun too. That's a Friday night too, isn't
Thursday
it?
night.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So that wraps us up for episode 40.
Before we go on, looking forward to Friday. Artie and myself are going to watch
Killer Queens.
Killer Queens.
Nice.
So we'll be watching.
You guys have been to a few gigs lately.
We have been. We saw
Yeah.
Pseudo Weka a couple of
Yeah,
weeks ago,
Pseudo Weka,
and on the
yeah.
back of that,
Did they play Funky Town 12 times, or have they
About
got other
15 at
songs?
least.
They've got plenty
Yeah.
of songs.
they got plenty of songs, but they did play Funky Down a few times. Well, they played. You know what they did? One extended long version for about half an hour. But next week, I'm gonna come up with on the back of seeing Killer Queen, my top 5 frontmen of rock bands.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
there you
know,
go.
I know it's not rugby league, but for my tidbits, I'm gonna
Good stuff.
I'm
I'm
gonna
looking
come
forward
with
to that.
not my top 5
I'm looking forward to that.
frontmen. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it. I can't get away with it. I'm gonna leave it to you.
Look,
You're the only one who can get away with it. But you can't throw a session. You can't throw a session in.
I don't know about such.
look out for us, obviously, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Look out for the shorts on Insta, Facebook, TikTok. Send your feedback and questions to quickhandsrugbyleague@gmail.com. Gentlemen, great
Giddy up.
night.
Thank
you.
you very
Adios.
much, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Happy rugby league, everybody.
League. Enjoy your weekend.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Good night.